Fine and try. Fine and try. Why you so stressed? It's not that serious. And free your mind. It's gonna be alright. Fine and try. Fine and try. Fine and try. Fine and try. Fine and try.
A girl will never forget the first boy she likes. Even if things don't quite work out.
Why did you do that?
Because you smell like dog poo. You're so stupid, just like dog poo. You're made out of poo.
But usually someone is there to offer words of wisdom.
Made of dog poo.
Honey, do you know why that little boy did those things and said those things? It's because he likes you.
And there it is. That's the beginning of our problem.
That little boy is doing those terrible things because he's got a crush on you.
Do you know what this means? We're all encouraged, no, programmed, to believe that if a guy acts like a total jerk, that means he likes you.
Here's the problem. He likes you too much. You're too pretty and too awesome. He can't handle it. That guy don't so obviously liked you. I'm sure he just lost your number.
He's not asking you out because he's intimidated by your professional success.
だからしげるが本命の彼女作んないのはあいつ赤ちゃんの時にさ母乳の吸い方をよく知らなかったのね。ああ、そうか。
Trust me, it's because he's just getting out of a serious relationship.
Trust me, it's because he's never had a serious relationship.
Ndinofunga kuti mukomana akakangana namba yekumba kwako. Madoda. Ichokwambi.
Why do we say this stuff to each other? Is it possible that it's because we're too scared and it's too hard to say the one obvious truth that's staring everyone in the face?
Welcome to Girl Talk, guys. I guess you can figure out by now what our topic is today. He's just not that into you. He's just not that into you. I have a guest in studio with me. Before I put him up on the camera, I'm going to introduce him to you. What do I say about this dude? I've known him for like 2 years. He's an excellent writer. Most people know him from 10th Year Seniors and from 103.5 The Beat Unfiltered. Oh my gosh. I genuinely hope that you are comfortable in this space, sir. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
Something about the pearls in the dress. I just feel right. I feel right where I need to be.
But I want to introduce to some and maybe reintroduce to more Mr. Andrew Bain.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I am good. I'm enjoying the pearls. I'm enjoying the dress.
You're enjoying the pearls and the dress.
Yeah.
So I just have to get your input when we talk about that outfit later. You don't have to.
It's not a cut I would wear, but it's definitely because I'm not the way I'm built, my shape.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have my mother's thighs. I'm not going to apologize for
that
that.
V-neck situation is
God is
probably
good.
not for you. And
My shoulders are narrow, and my arms are small, but it's just something about my thighs that I just can't.
right.
what I
It just
mean?
it wouldn't work with that dress.
And I have gun casing as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was told this is a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Okay, so I want to get it up.
Space.
Pardon me.
Oh man. So Andrew's my boy, and we're gonna have this conversation. And I want to start with that video.
Mm.
I want to start with that video. We're talking to women. This is what this show is about. And one of the things that we do to one another as women, we lie to one another. We lie to one another.
Yes, sir.
Because we tell our girlfriends these things concerning the men in our lives that are not true.
Y'all started lying before that. Y'all
Okay, sorry. Let's backtrack. Where do we lie? Tell me.
From the whole James broke up with me. He should. You're perfect. You're perfect. Why did he break up with you? He doesn't deserve you. He doesn't. Beloved, beloved, you don't know what it is to date your friend. You don't know what it is to be with your friend. So to tell your friend who you've never dated, who you don't know how she's carry on, he doesn't deserve you. No, that's a lie. Find out if he don't deserve her first. And then y'all go with like other lies. Girl, you look nice. Yeah. Just
when we really look bad.
Your edges look laid, but y'all know y'all look bad. You know her edges are not laid.
Wow.
You knew that earlier. You knew
Wow.
her makeup never right.
Wow.
Come on now. And you know she ugly. Y'all just know your friends ugly on the low, but don't want to say nothing. Exactly. See, y'all is. I watch it every day, every single day. Girl, you look nice. Girl, you look cute.
Girl, you look cute. And we lying.
And by the way, I'm talking about my mother as well. I'll start from her.
Why are you bringing Sandra into this?
If when my mother meets an ugly baby, if she meets a cute baby, she'll hold it. She'll throw it up to Jesus. She'll give it, you know what I mean?
Right.
If the baby ugly, all of a sudden she starts talking about God's blessings. She's like, oh, look at what God did for the planet of Earth. Oh, I'm so, oh Lord. Oh, yes, this baby is full of hope. The baby is ugly.
So we lie.
Yeah.
We lie. We don't tell the truth.
Mhm.
About the little things. So why would we then tell the truth
About the big things.
about the big things? Ladies, y'all are free to chime in at any point in time. Because
I'm
I just
genuinely afraid.
oh my gosh, I just feel like this conversation is just gonna be very funny. So if you want to call in, the number is 828-3543. If you want to send an anonymous message, you don't want us to see your post on Facebook, you can WhatsApp us, you can text us at 828-2543, and then of course we welcome your Facebook comments. Why always lie to each other, ladies? Why do we do that? And I'm trying to think, do I have any female friends that I don't tell them? Do I have any female friends that I don't tell them?
I think,
Andrew, if I tell you the truth, I have some female friends I don't have to say anything about. This is what they would usually do. Like, let's say we going out or whatever. They'd be like, I know you don't approve of this outfit. I know you think this look bad,
Right.
but I just felt like coming out the house like this. And so leave me alone. Like, before I could even say anything. Right. So usually I don't have to say anything because they'd be like, this is what the world is going to get today.
That friend, how long y'all been friends?
That's not just one friend. That's several.
And how long have y'all been friends?
A while. Like,
give me a number.
5 years.
See, and that's my problem with y'all. All of my friends, you've heard 3 names. Kenny Dakari now.
Okay.
Kenny Dakari now.
Right.
I have known, well, I know Ken's been alive. He's my cousin. But I've known Dakari and now for the better part of 22 years.
Okay.
So when they tell me the truth, I know it's the truth because we've been around each other enough. Y'all is me, y'all's Monday and then Saturday on some. This is my good friend Felicia. You're like, no, you just met her. You don't know her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows you the best? Your mother, your family, because they've spent decades getting to know Marisha.
Yes.
So they know your moods. Like my sisters and my mother know. They can read me and be like, he ain't in the mood right now.
Right.
He give me a weird vibe. Your friend of 5 years who y'all do brunch with, they don't really know you. So this is why you have to lie, because you still don't know this woman.
Right. So we're lying because we don't want to lose the friendship. That's what you're saying.
I'll take it a step further. I'll take it to a woke level. And this is my defense for y'all.
Okay.
I think it's very hard
Thank
being.
you. For the
no, defend you. I think in a world where women still don't have full equality, where men are trying to take away women's rights, and especially you compound that by being a Black woman,
yeah.
I think it's kind of on you have to forgive one or two lies. You got to forgive. Like, you look good in that dress. You know what I mean? You got to forgive. No, girl, you're cute. You know what I mean? Because it's hard enough being a Black woman in this world.
Okay. I think that it would be a whole lot easier if we weren't in competition with our friends. But that's a whole conversation for another day. And that whole equality thing, that's another conversation for another show, actually coming to a show near you. I'm excited. And I think it's in 2 weeks. I'm going to be having that conversation with Anastasia Palacios. Do we really want equality as women? Is that something that we actually want? I think we go after it because it sounds great. But I don't know if that's actually what we really want. But we're not going to talk about that now. We're talking about the fact that there's this guy who sometimes answers your messages and sometimes he doesn't. And you tell your girlfriends about, oh my gosh, I think he's so attractive, and like we have such great conversation, and like he makes me laugh and we enjoy each other's company, but but sometimes, like I feel like maybe he doesn't like me that much, because then like he has these spells, these moments where like he disappears and I don't hear from him, or I don't know what's going on with him. And what we tell our girlfriends, like we showed in that clip earlier, we tell our girlfriends, he's busy, or he has a job, he has work, he has stuff going on, and it's a lie, isn't it?
It depends. It depends on his occupation. Again, all of this is within context and there's nuances to this conversation.
Right.
If you're dating Sebastian,
right,
he's genuinely busy.
He is.
He genuinely ain't texting you back no time. So
correct.
He genuinely has stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dating a security guard for the church that ain't open till Sunday, he has time to text. Jamal could have hit you long time. He just didn't.
Right.
So within context, I know guys who are contractors, and when you see them on the lot, they're not, dating. You ain't trying to get your phone dating. And then let's be honest. And by the way, I'm not saying this is 50% of it. Let's be honest. A lot of dudes are not phone dudes. The average guy, depending on the age, I want to say from if he's 40 and under, he's a phone dude. He lying. If he's 40 and above, that age group, they really ain't the phone.
Okay. I can agree with you on that.
You see what I'm saying? They may
I can
prefer
agree
a phone
with you
call.
on that. And then there are some of them who are over 40 who like they have adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Where they are phone people, and then there's some of them who are trying to adjust, and it really ain't working.
Right.
I'll just share a joke with you. We had a guest in studio the other day, and I actually put my hands like on a GSM phone in 2021. In 2021.
You need to go touch the head of that dress to be healed.
I couldn't believe it, and like it was an older gentleman who was in the studio, and he was like, "Can you put this on silent?" And I was like, how?
Just drop it.
What?
No,
so I was like, I can turn it off,
This was the first Nokia.
No, but this wasn't even like a known GSM phone. This was like some Chinese name I didn't even recognize.
He's an LG chocolate.
Oh man, those were the days. LG chocolates.
Remember the LG chocolates?
Oh my god,
that was a flex. If you like
and
the little pebble.
I had a razor and a crazer.
Oh no, see, I grew up with fried sausage sandwich with no mustard, so
whatever.
I didn't.
In Sanssouci.
Yeah, I mean it was hard. It was really
whatever. You probably had that Nokia phone we used to light up. Anyway,
my parents made just enough money to keep me around white people, but broke. Shout out to Kingsway.
Y'all get your pool yet?
No, I still can't swim.
My condolences.
I still can't swim. I pray to borrow some of Jesus' powers now and start walking on water.
Jesus' powers.
If I just walk on water once. Just once.
Well, Lord, hear his prayer, I guess.
You say your voice has power, so I'm waiting for this money. My bank account ain't hit yet.
When last you pay your tithes?
Me? Last week Sunday. Pardon me. 10%, beloved.
Anyway, so
you should.
Yeah,
you should.
No, I just was asking.
I do.
But I think that in my experience, because this is what I do on the show. I talk about my experiences. in my experience, I've never ever had the moment where I felt like, yeah, like this guy is really into me. In all of my I know it's crazy. In all of my years of dating and all the guys that I've talked to, in all the relationships that I've been in, I was never fully convinced as a woman that like this guy was like legitimately like actually like into me. So I know there are so many other women out there who have that same experience where like they're always in this place where they're questioning the motives of this man, questioning the motives of this individual that they're talking to, and trying to figure out, well, like, does he really like me? Because he hasn't said anything. But then he says he likes me, but then his actions do something in opposition to what he's saying, so on and so forth. So it's like, I don't really know, like. But then we create these stuff in our heads that tells us like, okay, yeah, like he's great, he's amazing, so I'm gonna go after this, I'm gonna do this, and this is gonna be the greatest relationship ever, while all of those red flags and signs are like present.
Mhm.
And I think that for the majority of us as women, we make men complicated and they're not. And I know you will definitely say amen to this. Men are very simple creatures.
Mhm.
So
Amen, by the way.
we would love to say, well, oh, he was stressed out, or he, you know, had a lot going on, or he's balancing a lot, to make an excuse for why he didn't reach out, when the reality is he probably just didn't want to reach out. If he had the time to, if his schedule permitted, like he's probably just not interested.
You have to know yourself and know your toxic traits, and then you also have to be busy. I'll explain that be busy in a second. So the question you have to ask is that, all right, I have had women who wasn't on my run. I've had women who I hit them up. It does not take much. And by the way, women, I think y'all need to adopt this strategy if you haven't already. I'm a person where meet Marisha. I don't know why we're at Burger King, but we're there. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I think you're pretty with this yellow dress and these pearls in Burger King on a Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Right.
Could I get your number?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We exchange numbers, XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dude where if I text you
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on some, hey, how are you? How's your day? Good. Oh, okay. So, you know, what do you do? Da 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 da. Accounting. Then I'm like, okay, shit on my run. Block, delete. If he's giving you that energy without reasoning, drop it. How do y'all last so long in these situations to where for months he one wording you, and then one night he has a couple drinks, God forbid, and now he's chatty. He's chatty because of the liquor. He does not like you. If that dude is texting consistently, or there's a reason why, you know what, I had to work, but I can't really text like that, it is what it is. On top of that, the reason why I said you got to be busy is because I'm a person where I like my space. I don't need to talk to you all day, every day. No, I do need to talk to you every day, but I don't need to talk to you all day. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? You had breakfast? Yeah, I'm good. All right, I better go walk to this meeting. I can get you after the meeting. See what I'm saying? Don't be texting me during the meeting. Hey, big head, how's the meeting going? Beloved, I just hit you up like 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean? So read the room. You know what I mean? But don't stay in a situation. If he one word in you for an extended amount of time,
let's tell the truth though, because you say read the room, and let's be real.
Okay.
Men, because we can't say the other word that I really want to say. That you asked me if you could say, and I told you can't say that word. They.
Let me see how you can phrase this.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I know.
It is so hard. Y'all trifling.
Yeah.
Because you definitely, okay, the guy that's giving more than one word answers but doesn't follow up with actions knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's keeping you as a woman, as a female in his life. I would say lady, but he doesn't consider you a lady. He's treating you like a woman in his life who, just in case he needs you, he has enough conversation with you to hold on to you.
I call it keeping you on a long leash.
Right. So that'll look like him one day answering your call, because he doesn't always answer your call. But one day he does answer your call, and like you guys have like a 2-hour conversation. and you feel like you could tell this man anything and everything, right? In that 1-2 hour conversation, because that trumps every other like call that you made and he didn't answer. Right. So you take this 2-hour conversation and you turn that into a 1-month relationship. Where if someone was to approach this dude and ask him concerning you, he probably don't even remember your name. But he keeps you on this leash because he might need you. Christmas come in, he could be single.
Here's the thing with that. Why do kids look forward to Santa, someone they've never seen or someone they don't know? Why do you think that is?
Because he's probably gonna give them something they want.
You ever seen a situation where, like, with a divorced couple, when they're with mummies, whatever, but when daddy comes home, if daddy it is different, they run to daddy's here, and he comes with candy and all the rest of this, and that's the more absent you are, the more the heart is like.
So you're really giving me this absence makes the heart grow fond of mess?
No, I'm giving you the when he comes with bars. So
yes.
So
yes.
So January 1st, he hits you up. Hey, what's up? Listen, I know how's your New Year. Do you see those? Don't ever. No one should go on my Instagram account.
No, ever.
But you see those future memes?
Yes.
Where I know y'all. I'm sorry, I know y'all are Christians. Y'all don't see this. So there's a meme with
they have no idea who Future
with
is.
a popular rapper by the name of Future, and he's on his phone, and the meme is like, hey, how you doing? And they always make it relatable. So let's say Kirk Franklin just has a tiny desk.
Yeah,
like,
which was awesome, by the way.
So he'll text on some like, yeah, it was great, by the way. He'll text on some like, I was watching the Kirk Franklin tiny desk.
Right.
I wish our storm was over now. But, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he's anyway, I miss you, mama. So anyway, I hope you're well. And please say hello to your mother. XOXO. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, in your brain, it's okay, number one, he texts me. So that means he has to be interested. Number two, he asks about my mom. And they always throw in something that y'all have discussed, something personal. So you feel like, oh, girl, well, you see, to be fair though, he remembered my mommy had surgery and like he asked about her. So like, I don't know. I feel like he may be doing a 180. No, he's not. He just weaponized conversations y'all have had. He weaponized just how much you're into him, and he knows that 2-hour conversation.
Ladies, I hope y'all listening, because this man just tell y'all that men weaponize their conversations for their benefit.
100%. Now again, it depends on the men you're dating. Now, I don't want to accuse anyone on this live dating an ungodly man, but if you are, I'm sure godly men don't do this.
Right.
But sinners like myself,
right?
I'm petty, and like I'll weaponize. In an argument, though, I'm not going to weaponize that for anything else. But I know dudes that definitely do. Definitely do. They will pick your brain apart, get to know everything about you, and then go missing for like a month.
But we don't make it hard for them to get to know stuff about us.
You don't, not at all.
We don't.
Y'all don't. And this is why I always encourage women, when your male friends or your male counterparts warn you about dudes, listen.
Yeah,
y'all
we don't listen.
And the reason why y'all don't listen, and it confuses me because how you could tell a lion what another lion doing? You the gazelle. I'm hunting you. So how you as a gazelle?
But you don't know him like how I know him.
I know what a lion is do. It eats gazelles.
You don't understand. There are things that he tells me. There are things that he tells me in secret, and he just like, he can't talk to other guys about it, but he talks to me, and so you don't know him like how I know him, and you don't know the intimate things about him, so you don't understand like how he feels, like really, really feels. Like you're his guy friend, you're not like his, like friend. That's the stuff we say.
I wouldn't be so funny about it is y'all will leave the dude, he'll be on some you'll be like, oh, he texted me, come over. All right, cool, bet. Then the reason y'all give me is, Andrew, my CDs are in his car, and I just want to get my CDs. 9 months later, you see what I'm saying? So like, you rap. And by the way, men do the same thing. We just don't do it as much as y'all. Well, let me walk that back. That's a lie. Men do the same thing. We typically do it when y'all leaving, when y'all finally had enough. Then it's on some, hey, I left a pencil by you. Could I come get my pencil, please? I can't get my number 2 pencil. Why not? Is he trying to weasel himself
Yeah.
back into your life? So you'll make any excuse.
Here's my thing. If you know that you like, okay, well, let's do this. As a man, don't you know right away whether or not you want this woman or not?
No, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
Every man y'all keep letting Tyler Perry sell
See,
you on the
I'm glad that you
stream.
say that. I'm glad that you're saying that because, and we're welcome to other opinions. So I just want to make sure that
I'm sure there's gonna be some man out there. I saw my wife and I knew that her heart was
I just
full
want to
of
make sure that
God and
we don't
love.
establish Andrew's opinion as gospel. But my thing is like, we're told that, especially as single women. I'm a single woman. You know this about me. So we're told, oh, like he knows right away. So if he's treating you a certain way or if he doesn't treat you a certain way, then you need to run or whatever. The stuff that they tell us. Because, everyone is an expert on what a single woman should understand and know about a man.
Mhm.
Like everyone,
Mhm.
even the ones who are still single and 50.
Mhm.
They're an expert on how I should live my life as a single woman and on the man who's pursuing me
Right.
or not pursuing me, however that looks. So they're the expert on that. And they say to me, well, you should just really consider, just really consider him. And I'm looking at it. Oh, no, leave that alone. No, don't bother with that because he knew right away. He knew right away if he liked you or not. And he's just stringing you along. And I'm saying to myself, I asked myself the question as a human, not necessarily as a female. I asked myself the question on my first encounter with anything, do I know everything about it in order to love it or not love it?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I had to bring it down to the most simple form. So the first time I had an iPhone, I had the very first iPhone.
I believe it.
I didn't know if I liked it or I loved it. It wasn't until to be honest with you, I got a 3GS. Then I was like, I love iPhone.
Let me ask you a question. When you got your iPhone, what was the very first thing you liked about it?
The touchscreen.
Right. And did you like the look of it?
I hated it. I thought it was ugly.
Okay.
But then again, that's because I was coming from like a BlackBerry
to
like this new phone thing.
So why did you fall in love with the phone?
I fell in love with the phone because of what it could do for me.
There it is. Men are the opposite. There's no and gentlemen, respectfully, if I walk into that same Burger King and at 1 o'clock, I'm gonna get myself a couple burgers because I'm fat. If I walk in and I see Marisha there, the first thought on my mind is, this looks like a woman of God. She looks like she balances checkbooks. And she looks like she worships Jesus with just the right amount of praise. I can tell she makes a good crab and rice. And I think this is a virtuous woman.
Right.
Look at her.
Right.
This is it.
Right.
No. We're looking at the physical.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, this gal look good, boy. What
Yeah.
a sick, she look good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, bet. And then after that, it's let me get to now. Is there a moment of I want to be with her? Absolutely.
And there's a moment when you know.
It's absolutely there's a moment when you know.
But it's not
But
the
the first thing I see you and I just saw you and I just knew. No, you did not. You did not. Because you could open up your mouth and I'd be like, oh, I see you're lovely. How are you? My name is Andrew. What you saying, sweet boy? You all right, eh? Child, my BPL, do I wonder if I could pay this now?
Right.
And you can lie and tell me you knew? Now you don't know, right? All right, cool, bet. Cut it out. You did not know. You just thought she looked good. And that's okay. And then if y'all have have I met someone that day and we had great conversation the whole day? And I was like, yo, absolutely. But that is something that you have to build in increments. That's something you got to build through conversation. That's something you got to build through
getting to know the person.
Getting to know
knowledge.
them.
You have to get knowledge.
Because you could mess around and be with someone who's put ketchup on their white rice, and now you stuck.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Or on anything else for that matter, like their breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, I don't. Don't do that. That's a deal breaker for me, to be honest.
Exactly. So
mayonnaise and mustard.
Yeah. Wow.
Be respectful.
Wow.
Be respectful. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
This is what we're doing in these streets, putting mayonnaise and mustard on eggs.
You put it on a mannequin. I can put it on eggs.
That's hilarious.
You put it on a mannequin.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And you're wearing ketchup.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous. I think that it's so important for us to get that as women, though, because it's a lie. It is a lie. That man does not know right away, because you don't even know right away.
But it's still a compliment to you. He thinks you're gorgeous. He thinks you're beautiful.
Yeah, but we don't even know right away as women. We can look at you as a man and be like, oh yeah, like I think he's attractive, but we don't know.
No, and that's
We don't know.
and it's okay to know. I don't know why everything has to be with this finality of like when I knew you, I met you. It's all Disney princess stuff, and Disney has ruined y'all too, by the way. But I haven't get that's a totally different conversation.
But then there's a whole generation that has no idea what Disney even is.
That's true too.
So,
but see, I don't trust you if you wasn't there when Mufasa died.
Yeah.
I can't trust you. I can't trust you if you wasn't there to watch Ursula swing Ariel. You can't be a part of my life.
That was a sight to see.
You really can't be what?
Yeah, there's a whole generation of people that exist that have like never seen the sound of music, babe. Like
they grew up on Frozen and
Let It Go,
In and Out, and Let It Go, and all the rest of this. Like they grew up on that.
Yeah.
Like,
so
no, they
but
they
for
don't
those
know.
of us who do have this like fairy tale rom-com thing in our brains, it's
here's the thing.
It's hard to deprogram it though. You know that, right?
It's hard to deprogram it. I blame Tyler Perry for a lot of what's
Why are
happening.
you blaming Tyler Perry?
Because Tyler Perry has convinced y'all that y'all can get men without the work. Tyler Perry has convinced.
Oh, wait.
Let me hear this.
I have to work?
Exactly.
Sorry. I'm the prize.
Yeah, a beach face is not gonna play.
I'm the prize. I sleep on 17 mattresses and I can feel the pee at the bottom. Excuse me. I'm sensitive.
That's actually a very good reference. That's a very
excuse
good
me. I'm the thing that you want. What do I have to? What you want me to sweat?
Women.
I'm absolutely not going to do that.
I'm assuming we were talking to Christian church-going women.
We're talking to all women.
Okay.
All kind of women listen to this.
So we all know the way aging works.
Uh-huh.
Y'all are trying to have these kids before 40, a lot of y'all before 30. Every year, University of the Bahamas releases into the public several 25-year-old women who they ain't gone through their first baby, who ain't put on that 30-year-old weight, who ain't do none of that. Y'all are competing against monsters. Women outnumber men. That's just a fact. When you are prey, anytime you let an animal exist without a predator, it grows. These men out here, like you said, are trapsy. They got 2 or 3 being, being greedy. So what makes you think you don't have to compete? What makes you think that you don't have to put in that work? The Bible told you faith without works is dead. So if your routine is work, home, church, and 2 to 1, because the church, anyway, let me leave that alone. But you've probably already dated what was worth dating in church. That didn't work out. So now you have to look to the world and get a man who may be godly, but he don't go to your church, or he's Catholic or Anglican or something, whatever. You think, like these Tyler Perry movies, some light skin, cut, in shape, perfect. hello, Jesus Queen. How are you? You think he's coming to your door?
Yeah.
He's not.
Yes, he is. He's gonna knock on my house door.
No, he's not. He's not coming to your door. Now you may get lucky if he come to your church. We have some new people in church today. Could you please stand?
Right.
But guess what? It's like 12 of y'all looking at him.
Yeah.
And you know the deaconess who's wearing the short skirts, who they told about the short skirts, she could be straight on him. What are we talking about? Every church has that deaconess. Shout out to her.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. All of the people in my church are saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost.
Yeah. Not your church.
Yeah, no.
That's about the church.
The other churches.
That's about the church.
Yeah. Here's my thing though. And this is actually like a legit like conversation that I'm still having because you've known me long enough, Andrew. You know, I've said some things, I've made some statements about myself, when it comes to the men that I date, that I will not say on air because people like my personal business, but the statements that I've made in reference to who I would date and who I would not date, so on and so forth. So I think the difficulty.
I think about one dude. Go on, pardon me.
Yeah, I think the difficulty for genuinely saved women of God.
Mhm.
And I need to say that. I need to specify that. Those of us who are like actually trying to live right, like who are actually like trying to do this thing for real. I think the difficult thing for us is some of us have been so churched that we don't recognize the signs that the street should have been able to teach us if we had been exposed a little bit
That's
more.
a bar. That's a bar.
Right?
That's
Because just because you want to raise your children in the fear and admonition of the Lord, and you want them to love the things of God, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't show them the things that humans are capable of, especially when it comes to females and males and relationships. And so I think for me, in my personal experience, I wish someone had told me like that this dude is going to be in church. He loves God, but he has no idea what to do with a woman for real, because the men before him didn't demonstrate how you should treat a woman and how you should be as a man to a woman. His only example was, unfortunately, that gentleman in the church who everybody knew was stepping out on his wife, and it was known by everyone else. Or the couple whose marriage seemed perfect when they were sitting in the congregation together, but when you listen to their children talk, daddy's abusing mommy. Or that couple who, they're celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary and their son is 47, but they're looking down on the young lady because she's pregnant out of wedlock. Like those are the examples that were sitting before these men, and now you want them to just automatically be husbands, and you're actually coming down on the women, saying that like, you too hungry for a man, you too thirsty, you need to sit down and go love Jesus and let Jesus be your husband. Oh, I hate it.
That anyway. Do they know? Do they know like how far he lived? That's the longest distance relationship ever. We out there though. Shout out to Jesus.
Anyway, I'm not saying that he's not the friend that stuck it closer than a brother. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying he's made it very clear that he already has his bride. That's the church. So he can't be my husband.
No. He have a gal already.
He's straight.
Yeah, he has several in that.
He's straight. And she is a lot to handle.
Yeah.
She's a handful.
The thing about the Christian walk, I'm not gonna say my church because I don't want to embarrass them. But I was in church, no, real talk.
Yeah, don't do that.
I was in church from I could walk. I was in every choir. I was in Teens with a Vision, men's choir, youth choir, all boys choir.
You would never know that based upon.
Oh no, never. But
you now.
But that's
you're praying for Jesus.
Oh yeah,
to save,
I am. I made
you.
a 180. Still love Jesus, but we out there. But
oh my gosh, y'all pray.
Pray please. But,
please.
But what happened was my mother, and she and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Her sex talk with me was don't have it.
Yes.
My father's, and my father was a little bit more in the world. So I think he wanted to give us more worldly advice.
But he wasn't allowed to, or he just didn't.
I think mommy wanted us to be squeaky. My mom, my mother is Jesus's niece. You need to understand this. Like, I'll be like, Mommy, would you like a Big Mac?
She's Jesus's niece, so that means she's John the Baptist's thing.
Yeah, 100%. I actually literally have an Uncle John, which is funny.
Right. That's hilarious.
I'll be like, Mommy, I stubbed my toe today. That was crazy. Andrew, it says in Galatians, he who stubbeth his toe has not been to church for a long time.
Well,
and it turns into like a life lesson. That's who my mother is.
And you need to go to church.
I wish that she had attached some real world information to that.
Yeah.
Because when I hit college, I lost my mind. That's when the drinking started and the women and all the rest of this.
You're saying so much, Andrew. It's so true.
I lost my entire mind because I had no knowledge. Now, again, I always tell Christian women this. I'll never ask y'all to go to ghetto clubs, ghetto bars, or places where like almost prostitution is happening.
But that's because you have an understanding of the things of God.
I do. Because see, I live both worlds.
Let's be real. because this is what we do on Girl Talk. We talk real talk. The majority of the men that are approaching us as women of God do not have any
They
understanding
don't have that balance.
or background of church,
Right.
because there is an entire generation of men and women out there who have not seen a church
I agree.
in this country, and we don't want to admit that, but that's the truth.
And by the way, it's an alarming number.
It's scary.
It weirds me out when I meet dudes who like, but I ain't gonna lie, I really didn't do that with Jesus' wife, you know what I mean?
Right.
My mom and them used to go, just leave us home.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like,
Because that previous generation would have been forced to go to church, and so they vowed that they would never do that same thing to their children, and now their children don't even know that God exists.
and I've seen it, and so like, I was in church 21 years. For 21 years, I only dated women in church. I only dealt with women in church, and those women in church were like you, pardon me, not like you, but they were like, when I say like you, I mean like they were so in the church that we were just exchanging notes at this point. You know what I mean? There were no variations of woman outside of the physical, like outside of the physical.
And
there was no variations there.
That is something else that I absolutely abhor. The idea that you make the assumption that because you see me and you see my friends, then all of us are the same. And then the women who copy and paste from one another, because we do that as women.
Mm-hmm.
We see homegirl who come to church who always got it together,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing where that comes from.
You don't know she teething. You don't know
exactly. You don't know if she's like insecure and like is like trying to overdo it. You don't know if like, you know, she have a sugar daddy or something. Like you don't know. Like you don't know what her situation is. But you look at her and then you'd be like, well, oh, you know, I could do that. And then you start doing stuff and then you observe her, you get to know her, you befriend her, and then you copy and paste.
See, here's the problem for all your listeners. Under the sound of my voice.
Wow, you sound like a preacher.
Who was the bad who was the bad girl in your choir and our audience? Just no, I ain't say the name. Think of it. Is she married today or not?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know why she married? One foot in the church.
I disagree.
No. I'm not saying to put one foot in the world. What I'm saying is she
You need
had
to
knowledge
know.
from both sides.
You need to know what's going on.
Every
out there.
bad gal I know from Kingsway and
Why are you
my church. Oh, I'm gonna put them on that. All of them are married. Every single one. And
I was having this conversation with God the other day, and I was like, okay, so the people around me that are getting married, right?
I know y'all be tight.
I
I know y'all be mad.
No, actually, no. I'm happy for them. Genuinely, I'm serious.
Okay.
And I have matured to that place.
Okay.
I am not afraid to admit that I wasn't always there, that like attending somebody's wedding would have made me bitter. And like I would have gone home and cried. But no, literally, like I have matured to the place where like I can genuinely celebrate someone because I'm happy for them.
Okay.
Understanding that it has no impact on me. And it's not taking anything away from me to celebrate that woman or that man that are like making this commitment.
I'm not that mature. I get pissed. Because I remember when I was trying to check her and she was this light-skinned dude. And so you tried to tell me he wasn't on my run this whole time. So no, I'm out the way.
I don't know what light skin dudes do you.
I'm out the way and throwing limes.
Yeah, whatever. But no, for me, I think the question that I've asked him, this is what I've asked God. And what I recognize too as a believer, and I didn't want to shift this conversation here so quickly, but I know you have to go soon, so I will do this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
One of the things that I had to do was that I had to ask myself, is the wait even worth it for you anymore? Because I recognized that there was something that I wanted and I refused to settle for anything less than what I want. But the question that I had to ask him was, why does it seem to take a miracle for me to meet someone who I know can be everything that I need this person to be in my life and more? And when I really sat down and like really analyzed even what I was saying to God in that moment and then listening to what he said to me, it was one of those like moments where, actually, interesting enough, if you watch the movie, he's just not that into you. The guy is talking to the girl and he says to her, you know, your friend that you're talking about who has that scenario, she was the exception and you're the rule. Right. So what we do is we take these scenarios of our friends who we see getting married, who, you know, who have the things that we want. And we look at that and we be like, but I should have that because they have that. And really what God said to me was, so you want it like how she has it, or you want it like how I have it for you? Because our problem as women is that we compare. That's our problem as humans. But in particular, we're talking to women today. You know, we compare too much. We compare too much because my journey to marriage is not going to be like anybody else's. It's not going to be. It's not going to be like anybody else's because I am who I am. And there is no other person in the world that is Marisha other than Marisha.
And it's also about timing.
Exactly.
You know, and now granted, I'm saying this as a man. So as a man, I know that I can bear children.
Major impact
right.
on timing as well.
You know, you major impact on timing, but I do believe that when it's your time, it's your time. I do believe in. Let me walk that back. You know what it is too? Do you know how you want to be loved?
Most of us don't.
You can crave love. You can think that you feel love, but do you even know how you want to be loved? Because if you don't know how you want to be loved, how you expect me to tell you?
And how can I teach?
You can't teach me how to love you if you don't know how to love you.
And then I wasn't properly loved. Let's talk about that. And then I didn't see my mother actually like genuinely receive love from my father.
Right.
So my father wasn't a good example. And I'm not, this is not my personal story. We're speaking generally here, right? So, you know, I look at my father wasn't necessarily like, I was just really confused. Like some days I really think he did like my mommy, I guess, I don't know. And then, so I'm basing even the way that I relate with men, like I don't even know that I'm using that as my frame of reference. So that's why I could allow that guy to like not be consistent, because I saw inconsistency, and inconsistency was allowed to still sleep in the same bed.
This is why when women come to me and they're like, I deserve this, I deserve that, I deserve this. You actually don't. What you deserve is for you to take time out to find out how you want to be loved. Because a lot of y'all are trauma bonding. A lot of y'all, his demons and your demons play well with each other. And so you think that's love. A lot of y'all come from traditional homes. Because,
my goodness, sir.
Because he's making money, because he brings the money home, because he's home at 5, because he doesn't cheat, because he goes to church, you think that's love. Because that's what you were told is love.
Gosh.
When really, it could be a dude who is Anglican, Catholic, something else that's not in a Baptist church. My father was Anglican, my mother was Baptist. You ain't get more Baptist than the church my mom went to. You're not going to get more Anglican than my dad's church. But they came together and they agreed to disagree. And I saw what true love looked like. I saw what our true relationship was. And, you know, it's a thing in our family, all the boys in our family, we have a bunch of girls, all the boys in our family are single, because every woman we look to, I reference my mother. I reference that love. I'm 39 and not married because I don't want to get married to someone I'm going to cheat on. I'm not going to settle. So I'm not worried about a clock. But again, I'm a man. Me being a man is different. I know that a lot of women may want kids and XYZ, so I understand that I'm speaking from a point of privilege. But
yes, you are.
No, I know. But I might stop watching the clock. Start watching signs that God shows you. Because a lot of times God is be slapping y'all in the face with information.
Yeah.
And y'all be
it's
like,
usually a big, huge red flashing sign.
Flashing. The dude will be on some like, he go missing for 2 days, come back, and you missed that, and you missed
2 months,
and you missed that sign, and then you talking to your girlfriend about him and crying, and he texts you, and you want some. Look at God. He texted me down there. He texted me. That's not God.
Oh my God.
That's not God.
Yeah.
So my point is, if you don't know how to love yourself, if you don't know how to be happy with yourself, because a lot of people aren't even happy with themselves. How are you miserable? Come from a single parent home, never really saw love, don't know how to be loved, but you want 6'2", job, godly, and XYZ.
Let me tell you what I experienced recently in my life, and then I know we're gonna wrap this up to get you out of here.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna continue once you leave. But something that happened to me recently, and I don't want to put all my business out there, but I had something happen to me recently that we were talking about before we were on air.
Did something happen recently?
That caused me to like have to take care of somebody, like literally have to take care of someone. And because I had to take care of someone, I actually like sat down one day and it hit me that all these years I've been saying I wanted a husband, I wasn't ready.
And that's an awakening.
That hit me.
That is an awakening
because I was exhausted having to care for another person. And I was not necessarily how can I say this? I wasn't like upset or like bothered by the fact that I had to take care of another person. It wasn't that. It's just that I realized how much of myself I had to sacrifice in order to do that. And I realized that it demanded balance from me, but it also made me realize that like in order to live with someone on a consistent basis successfully, I have to die to myself. And it can't always be about me. And there are going to be some days where the needs that I have are not going to be met. But if the other person's needs are met, it benefits me. It benefits me.
That's a fact.
It benefits me. And so like I had a huge like slap in the face moment because I was like, first of all, well, anyway, I thank the Lord that I can now cook grits.
Oh, shout out to you.
Oh,
that's a big
listen,
deal. I'm really proud of you. But real talk.
And I mean like a mean pot of grits, like soft and everything. Like you could put that in the fridge and you could put a fork in that grits and it's still soft.
I don't eat grits, so that's
we know. But whatever.
We out there.
But like, no, I learned that I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. I thought like I was the package. And then I was exposed to how selfish I was.
And the problem, I was engaged before. I told you that.
Yeah.
So I was engaged to a young lady. I was in Canada at the time. And the way we got engaged is a totally hilarious story that I cannot tell.
You cannot tell that story here.
I was engaged, and what happened was the young lady, I at the time was a bouncer and she was a teacher. And then it was a lot of issues there. Her mommy was her best friend. It was weird. Yeah. So there was a moment laying on this, in my bed. I was like, if I marry this woman, this is going to be a mistake. And I think there are a lot of people that had that realization a long time ago. And especially within the church community, they go forward with it because it's the right thing to do, in quotes. Oh, well, you should do this because this, she's a good Christian girl. He's a good Christian guy. Da, da, da. And they're from the outside looking in. And because they knew little Johnny from he been going to this church, and they knew little Mauricia from she been going to the church, they're a perfect match. Are they though? And if you're being honest, you walk away from that. Because a lot of y'all have rings on your fingers for y'all don't like. And liking someone in a lot of cases is way more important than loving someone. So we got to be careful how we push, and we got to be careful how we take.
Your final remarks, because I know you got to go.
My final remarks, I have two, if I'm allowed.
Okay.
Number one, love and light to everyone. I hope everyone's good. Just listen. This is going to sound cheesy. Listen to your heart. And trust your gut, which is probably the Holy Spirit. My mother always says that if you have instincts, you have a gut feeling about something, if your spirit moves,
one mind.
That's probably what it is. My second thing is, if you can turn this yellow and pearl dress into like a nice mini skirt, and just a nice top. I like the belt. I don't like the way the skirt flows. I feel like it's a lot. I feel like this is jumper church.
This is not your second point.
This is like
this is not your second point.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember when choirs used to have like 82 people, and then you have like a
okay.
I
have to show our Facebook people what you're talking about.
And you have like the big concert, and like it's always like the one member in the church with money. I like when the pastor's like, I know someone here have $1,000 and she's get up. That's her. That's who that is.
Oh gosh, let me show you what he's talking
You do it
about.
way
I
too-
didn't want to do the outfit for the day yet, but since he doing it.
Carol here doing too much. That's my name for this mannequin, by the way.
Carol
doing too much.
Carol is doing too much.
I mean, come on now. God, they asked you. To
It's
come in
nice
pearls.
though.
I didn't say it wasn't nice.
But we ain't wearing this to church though.
Where you wearing this?
To a wedding.
Boy, you danced on it not just now. You danced on it not just now. I was like, what are you doing?
Anti-ways. Listen, the show's not over, but I just want to say thank you to my friend Andrew for coming.
I apologize. I have to leave. So
it's okay. You got stuff to do, and it's all right. It's all good.
All right.
But thanks for the conversation. We're gonna continue this conversation without you.
Okay.
But we say thanks.
Thanks
for
so much
hanging out.
listening. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
It's the cleanest I've been. I'll see y'all later.
And we honor the Lord. All right, I want to get some of your Facebook comments in here because you guys have been talking while we've been talking. So let me back up. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that was hilarious. I wish our storm was over. LOL. Yeah, that was funny. These men strategize. It's so true. It is so true. Agreed. Listen to them male friends. Yes, we do need to listen to our male friends. But these dudes have droplets all over the place. So a woman with no kids at a loss. Wow. Wow. Most of the bad gals married. It's so true though. It's so true. Y'all think about it. Think about them. I won't say it like that. Listen, that living together does hit different. Wow. Do not recommend. Okay. We take your advice. All right. I want to jump into this next clip. It's actually from another not a movie. It's from a TV show. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Take a look at this clip.
So he kissed me goodnight at the door. I invited him up. He couldn't because he had an early meeting. We kissed again, and he said he'd call.
2 kisses? Very promising.
You think, even though he didn't come up?
Definitely. It means he likes you, but he wants to take it slow. That's nice.
Berger, what do you think?
Really want to know?
Please, I would love to have a man's opinion for a change.
All right, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. He's just not that into you.
That's not true. Don't listen to him.
Oh, no, I'm intrigued. Elaborate.
Look, I'm sorry, but when a guy's really into you, he's coming upstairs, meeting or no meeting.
Oh, that is ludicrous. What about extenuating circumstances? What about you're stressed out, you're on deadline, you have a migraine?
Or a lot of guys are afraid of getting their feelings hurt and they don't want to ruin a friendship.
Or they're freaked out by their own feelings. There's a lot of push-pull out there, a lot of mixed messages.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's all code for he's just not that into you. I'm sorry, but with guys, it's very simple. If we're into you, we're coming upstairs. We're booking the next date. There are no mixed messages.
No mixed messages, but
I've spent my whole life deciphering mixed messages.
I've made a whole career of it.
Wow, he's just not that into me. He's just not that into me.
Oh, honey, ignore this person. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're fired.
Look, if he's not into you, the guy's obviously a weenie, so...
No, I love it. It is the most liberating thing I have ever heard. Think how much time and therapy I could have saved over the last 20 years if I had known this.
I still think the real estate guy is gonna call.
Yeah, I think you got an uncomfortable email coming your way, you know? Something like, sorry I haven't called. I'm in a place in the world where they don't have phones.
Yeah, so it's a little different for some of us in reference to the cultural differences. And then, of course, we are talking about a situation that was a lot of years ago when emailing was a thing. But the truth of the matter is we need to open our eyes as women to see the truth for what it is. A man will make his intentions clear. And that's really what I wanted to ensure that we left this conversation today understanding. To all of my single girls out there, don't read into anything, because men are not complicated creatures. They are simple human beings. If they want something, they go. If they don't want it, they don't go and get it. It is what it is. I have a text that came in. I never found God's choice until I made up my mind it would be me and God alone for the rest of my life. And I'm glad that this person sent that message, because I think that it's so important that even when we hear things like that, that we don't take statements like that and then copy and paste it upon our lives and say, okay, because my friend decided that, she made up in her mind that she would be alone for the rest of her life. Then God sent her a husband. So now I'm going to make up in my mind that I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. And then God is going to send me a husband. Don't do that. Appreciate that person's story. Appreciate her story, because it is legitimate and there is wisdom to be gained from her story. However, their story is not your story. My story is not yours. It's not yours. The way that I meet the man of purpose that God has for me is not going to be the way that you meet the man of purpose that God has for you. And I think it's one of the things that I see happening in the church, happening specifically when it comes to single saved women, but even women outside of the church. We look at the way our friends, our girlfriends, our cousins, our family members, our fellow friends at church, like whoever, we look at the other females in our lives and we automatically tell ourselves, well, I saw what she did. She started working out, she started losing weight, and she started fixing up herself. And then all of a sudden she found a man. So I'm going to do the same thing. And then God is going to send me my husband because I do the same thing that I see her do. No. Ask God what it is that you need to do in your life to prepare for the time when you collide with the man of God that he has for you. Ask God what it is about you. What is it in your life that you need to work on before you get to that place where you meet the individual that God has for you to walk out purpose with? Because the thing that I think we forget about this whole concept of trying to even develop a relationship on the whole, the thing that we forget is that the whole point of the two of you coming together is to have the most powerful agreement in the earth. The whole point of you two coming together is for some kingdom purpose to be manifested. And so the first thing for that woman of God who's trying to understand why she hasn't met the man of God for her, have you considered the fact that the enemy sees, has an understanding, has an inclination of what it could look like for you and this man to come together? And so he's fighting that. That's the first thing. The second thing is understand that absolutely nothing is going to happen outside of the timing and the purpose of God. And so it's a matter of trusting the sovereignty of God. It's something that I have been hearing all of my life. And if I tell you the truth, and if you're honest with yourself as a single woman, you don't like hearing it either, because you don't want anybody to tell you to trust God because you're counting the clock. Like Andrew mentioned earlier, you're looking at the clock and you're looking at what's going on in your life, and you're looking at the fact that you want certain things to happen by a certain age, and you don't want to have an at-risk pregnancy, and you don't want to be 50 years old running behind babies, and all the things that we say to ourselves as women. The truth of the matter is, if you have a word concerning it, then you can pray concerning it. You can pray concerning it. And I think that coming out of this conversation today, the number one thing that I wanted us to take away is to make every interaction, every possibility of a relationship that we have that comes across our path, that we make it a matter of prayer. We make it a matter of prayer. We talk too much as women. We talk too much. We have too many conversations with everybody else except God concerning the thing that we're actually really genuinely desiring. We make it a matter of casual conversation and not a matter of prayer. If we made it a matter of prayer, we wouldn't be taking our friend's experience of how she got together with her fiance, we wouldn't be trying to borrow that. We wouldn't be trying to go to the same place that she met her fiance so we could find a fiance there too. Um, we wouldn't be so thirsty because there's this new guy who joined the church and he's single. Because you know that if you're praying about it, prayer gives you insight, spiritual insight. It gives you clarity. It gives you understanding. It gives you insight and perception into the things of God. And if you don't expect to have clarity and insight and prayer concerning the partner who is the purpose of God for your life, then you won't get it. You won't get that clarity. You won't get that understanding. If we don't go before God in prayer, believing that there is actually someone out there who he has predestined and foreordained for you to be with, then you're not going to get it because you don't expect it. You don't expect it. I think that one of the most freeing things that I've ever encountered as a believer was taking the pressure off of myself to be what people think I should be to be prepared for a man and be the woman that God has called me to be. And to do every single thing that he has called me to do, knowing that he has set a time where a collision is going to happen and I'm going to encounter this individual, and then work has to be done. Work has to be done. That guy that you talking to right now, who's inconsistent, whose actions are clearly not intentional, who is really just like 1 minute talking to you, 1 minute he's not, who you are questioning his every move, his every motive. He's just really not it. And it's not even a matter of like him just not being that into you. Like he's not it. He's not it. And to the woman out there who's not a believer, who's listening to this, you may be listening to this on podcast, you may be listening to the rebroadcast of this, whenever you encounter this, who's not a believer, I encourage you to have a conversation with God about where you are in your life now and where you want to go. And I believe that God's going to answer you. I believe it. To the believer out there who's tired, to my girlfriend, my girl, who's tired. You tired. I know you're tired. You're tired of watching all of your friends find happiness. You are wondering why isn't it happening for you? I want to say to you today that just because that dude isn't into you, it doesn't mean that you're not worth being had. I think that we have done something very painful to women, in particular in the church. We've made them feel like they're not worth anything because they could not get married or because they're single. We make it seem like something's wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you, but there are some things that we need to work on. There are. You have not arrived. You're not perfect. But that's not the reason that you're single. That's not the reason that you're single. You need to find out from God why it is you're single. Don't accept somebody's general stamp, sweeping generalization as to why you are still single. Ask your creator, why am I still single? Let him talk to you about it. God, why has my time not come yet? Why have you not brought me to this partner of purpose? Why haven't our paths collided yet? Why does it seem like it's not going to happen for me? Ask him. Seek out clarity from the one who is the author and the finisher of your faith. Who better to ask that question? I think we go to other humans because it's easy. It's easy for us to get some sort of answer that will give us, I guess you could say, some sort of solution as to what we could, do to change or to cause it to happen. But the only person who has the answer is God himself. So to my girlfriend who, like, you've been stressing out about this, do it. Let him go. Let him go. And something better is coming. And it's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. All right, guys, we're gonna get up on out of here today, but Andrew kind of preempted this. I want to talk about our fit of the day. Yes, we got a fit of the day because this girl talk, and this is what we do. So our fit of the day is brought to you by the Catwalk Boutique. And this is such a gorgeous dress. Such a gorgeous dress. It is perfect for a wedding. If you're attending a wedding, it's the perfect attire for a wedding. If your church is dressy, do it. If you go to church and like, I ain't gonna lie, we've been locked up in a pandemic. We've been shut up, y'all. Put on your clothes, dress up for Jesus' sake. Do it. It'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel good. I say this to my girlfriends all the time. When they encounter me and they're like, "Oh, you extra dressed up today?" Because I was like, "Yeah, today was about to be a bad day, but I dressed up today, and it made me feel so much better." So, dress up. Listen, dress up. I love this fit. I love the necklace. I love the way the dress flows. Listen, this one's comfortable. This one, the fabric is stretchy. It's nice. So you can check out my girl G at the Catwalk Boutique if you're interested in getting that dress. Every week we'll have a fit of the week. That necklace is also very light as well. It's not as heavy as you think it is. So check her out at the Catwalk Boutique. I pray that today's conversation was a challenge for some of us as women, but an encouragement. And I pray that our eyes were opened. And ultimately, it is my hope for all of us, in particular, my single girlfriends out there. It's my hope for us to really take a hold, like take the reins of our future in prayer, Bain. Like, I know I just said prayer, Bain, but like for real, take the reins of your future in prayer. Like command your tomorrow in the place of prayer. Do it. Speak your future into existence in the place of prayer, and then watch your language outside of that place. Don't pray and be in a place of faith in prayer concerning what it is that you're believing God for, and then when you're outside of that place, your confession is negative and in complete opposition to what you have declared in the place of faith. And again, I can't say it enough. That guy who is inconsistent, Maya Angelou says it, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. If he's inconsistent now, he's going to be inconsistent in the future. Let it go. Let it go. Move on. God has something that is better for you. I'm not saying that as a cliche. I hate Christian cliches. I'm saying that to you because you were not called to be a nun. No, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. No, you're not a nun. So that means that there is a man of God that God has intended for you to be with. And you need to be convinced of that. You need to go to prayer concerning it. And you need to hear God, like my bishop would say. Hear God. Whatever you do, hear God. This has been another episode of Girl Talk. Next week, y'all, we talking about tinks. Yes, we're talking about tinks. Next week, I'm going to have a bunch of stuff in studio with me. I want to show you some of my favorite stuff, things that I like, some of the outfits for the upcoming spring season. We're going to talk about all things women, all the little trinkets, the little stationery, all the little stuff that we like. Next week, we're gonna show you where to get the things that you like at reasonable prices, where the hookup is, who's do the hair right, who's do the nails right, all that stuff. We're going to talk about all of that next week. Thank you so much to all of my Facebook family for tuning in out there. Those of you tuning on radio, to our podcasters. Woohoo! Listen, I love my podcasters. We're up to 100 downloads a week. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for all of your support. I love you, ladies. Remember this. You need to get you some girlfriends. Find your tribe, girl. Find your tribe. They'll help you. They'll cause you, not to not make some of those bad decisions. You make it. Yeah. Find your tribe, girl. I love y'all. Until next week, y'all. Be good. Be safe. Have a glory-filled weekend.
Find a tribe.